The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor and the Lord and master of the devotees. Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet, your famous scroll. Take shelter. Srila Prabhupada ki Sri Guru Charana Padama Kevala Bhakti Sadama Padama Kevala Bhakti Sadama Sri Guru Charana Padama Kevala Bhakti Sadama Ana Padama Kevala Bhakti Sadama Bandhamui Savadhana Mate Bandhamui Savadhana Mate Yara Prasade Bhai He Bhavatoriya Jai Yara Prasade Bhai Bhavatoriya Jai Krishna Prapti Ho Jahate Krishna Prati Hayate Guru Mukha Padama Vakya Itete Koriyakya Guru Mukha Padama Vakya Itete Koriyakya Arna Koriyo Mane Asha Arna Koriyo Mane Asha Guru Charane Ruti Etse Uttama Gati Shri Guru Charane Ruti Etse Uttama Gati Ye prasade pure sarva asha Ye prasade pure sarva asha Chakudana dilo ye janme janme prabhu se Chakran dilo ye janme janme prabhu se Divya Jnana Hriday Prakashita Divya Jnana Hriday Prakashita Prema Bhakti Jaya Vidya Vinasujate Prema Bhakti Jaya Vidya Vinasujate Mere Gaja Hare Charita Mere Gaja Hare Charita He Guru Karuna Sindhu Adhama Janara Bandhu He Guru Karuna Sindhu Adhama Janara Bandhu Lokana Lokero Jivana Ila Prabhupada Lokero Jivana Ha Prabhu Korodare Homore Bharachaya Ha Prabhu Korodare Homore Bharachaya Ebe Josu Gushuti Bhuvana Ebe Josu Gushuti Bhuvana Aha Prabhu Kara Daya Deho More Bharachaya 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 Ebe Josu Gushu Tribhuvana Tila Prabhupada Potita Pavana Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Te Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshutarine Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Jaya Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Jaya Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radha Shyama Sundar, Radha Shyama Sundar, Radhe. Jai Radha Shyama Sundar, Radha Shyama Sundar, Radhe. Jai Radha Shyama Sundar, Radha Shyama Sundar, Radhe. Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jai Krishna Balaram. Jai Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jai Krishna Balaram. Jai Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jai Krishna Balaram. Jai Gauranitha, Jai Gauranitha, Jai Gauranitha, Gauranitha. Jaya Gauranitha, Jaya Gauranitha, Jaya Gauranitha, Jaya Gauranitha. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai go, Hare Hare, Hare Gaura Hare Anita Gaura Hare Hare Gaura Hare Nitai Gaura Bhimanande Hare Hare. Jaya Vishnupa Paramahansa Parivrajakaacharya Ashtottarastu Shri Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jaya Vishnupa Paramahansa Parivrajakaacharya Ashtottarastu Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय, मायापुर धाम की जय, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, नूरमन धाम की जय, तुलसी महारानी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, यमुना माई की जय, गंगा माई की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। निताय गौ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। समवेता भक्त वृंद की जय। All grace to the assembled devotee. All grace to the assembled devotee. All grace to the assembled devotee. All grace to Sri Sri Guru Gauranga.
Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone. So just a quick quote this morning. This is cited in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's from several scriptures, Majjhīla. Whatever is achieved by meditation in Satya Yuga, by the performance of yajna in Treta Yuga, or by the worship of Krishna's lotus feet in Dwapara Yuga, is also obtained in the age of Kali simply by chanting and glorifying Lord Keshava. Shukadeva Goswami said to Maharaj Parikshit, whatever result was obtained in Satya Yuga by meditating on Vishnu, in Treta Yuga by performing sacrifices, and in Dwapara Yuga by serving the Lord's lotus feet, can also be obtained in Kali Yuga simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So we are coming on the Festival of the Holy Name, where we will be able to get those benefits for ourselves. And that's coming up tomorrow. So let me just, before I make a few announcements, I'd like to welcome His Holiness Bhakti Raghava Swami to New Raman Reti. Hare Krishna. This is, it's unusual for him to travel here. I don't know, have you been here before? Yes, okay, it's been a while. So I'd like to just read a little biography. Many of our devotees don't know Maharaj. So let me tell you that his preaching is concentrated mostly in Asian countries like India, Indonesia, and Cambodia, but he travels extensively and holds seminars on Varnashram. And he has authored several books, which will be available for sale right after class, Make Vrindavan Village and Varnashram Education are two of them. And from 1976 to 1992, so he spent 20 years living in India. He pioneered the new Bhakti program and the Namahata Village preaching program for Sridham Mayapur and the Bhaktivedanta Youth Services from ISKCON in Calcutta. And then from 2001 to 2004, he was based in Indonesia, where he helped to develop and oversee 6 rural community projects, in addition to youth hostels. And then he's also, in the meantime, somehow he's managed to get his advanced university degrees, and he his thesis was on a comparative study of Gurukula and Pandak Pestren, which is something that they do in Indonesia. You could tell us about that. In 2006, he became involved with preaching activities in the community development in Cambodia. He established an NGO called Global Varnashram Educational Social Cultural Organization, and he's spearheading a rural community called Yashodapura Ashram. He's very busy Swami. The same year, the Maharaj returned to India after an absence of 13 years. He spearheaded another rural project in South India called Sayadri Krishna Balaram Kshetra, and there they offer courses on Varnashram Dharma. And he was instrumental in establishing the National Varnashram Development Committee for India in 2007. And he was appointed the National Minister for the Daivi Varnashram Ministry, promoting rural development in India. So he's been very, very active in some of the things that we are hoping to develop here at New Raman Reti. So after class, after Maharaj has a minute to meet with a few devotees, we would like to take him by the electric carts around the property and show him some of the things we're doing here, get some advice from him, and you're all welcome to join in the little parikrama. So a few announcements for today. First of all, Thanksgiving community dinner is today at 1 o'clock. If you have not pre-bought a ticket, they'll be available as you come in, $8 adult. I think children between 5 and 11 are half price, and then children under 5 are free. Sunday, Karnapur Prabhu is going to give one of his classes where he follows along with a lecture by Srila Prabhupada, and the devotees become interactive in the class. That's this Sunday, in case you wanted to know. Tuesday coming up is Gita Jayanti. That will kick off our book distribution marathon. There'll be different ways that all of you can participate in the marathon this year, not the least of which is by going door to door with Kalyapani Prabhu, who has started going out once a week with Bhakta Josh and having fantastic experiences and great success. He mentioned one to me that I just want to relate quickly. He was visiting Bibatsu Prabhu in the VA hospital last week, and they had a kirtan. You know, Bibatsu is a big Harinam person. Even with his crippled body, he comes out on the sidewalk every week for years to lead the Harinam party. And he has a special microphone that he brings. He has a wonderful, deep voice. So they were having their little kirtan in the room, and later a nurse came in to see Bibatsu, and she said, when I walked by your room this afternoon, all my hair stood on end, and I had goosebumps all over my body. She said, I ran past that room. I didn't know what was happening to me. And so, you know, this Harinam is so contagious and so infectious. So we encourage everyone to take part in the kirtans this weekend, and also we will be taking it to the street. On Friday, we go out to University and 13th. Anyone who's here for the festival can come with us. That's at 5 p.m. And on Saturday, up to Tallahassee for 100,000 people attending a football game. They'll also get to hear the holy name. Quickly, I just want to mention that thank you to Mahabhuti Prabhu. You might notice the Sringasans are all sparkly clean. He got up there somehow, helps to be tall, and he cleaned off all the Sringasans over the deities' heads. Also, you could see that Krishna Balaram have their lunch packed for today. I don't know where they're going, but they don't have to worry about prasadam because it's all packed for them. And thank you to Gandharvika for making beautiful holiday cookies for the Lords. Also, you'll see there's a bottle of cane syrup right next to Srimati Radharani. That's the first bottle of cane for the season. You know that Dravanakshi Prabhu grows sugar cane. He presses it by hand over here. Then they boil it down. A bunch of devotees get together. That's the first bottle offered to the deities today. Quickly, let me welcome Gauranga Prasad Prabhu and Tirtharaj Prabhu from Orlando Temple, and Janeshwar Gauranga and Varshana Chitra Devi Dasi visiting from West Palm, and Lalita Gopi Devi Dasi visiting from New Vrindavan, and anyone else visiting, welcome to New Raman Reti. This could be your home away from home. We're very happy to have you here. And before I turn everything over to Maharaj to give the lecture this morning, we could use some help in the kitchen. What else is new? There's a big feast coming up today at 1. If I had 6 people in there, we could finish the list. We got more than half of it done yesterday, so there's not a lot, plus the class plays on in the kitchen. If you want to join me in the kitchen, we'll just put you to work. Haribol. Jai Maharaj.
So here are the devotees who have assisted their guru in dressing the deities today. Shri Shri Radhe Shyam were dressed by Mother Nanda, and it says, thanks to Tessa for making the garlands, Radhe Shyam's garlands. Chota Radhe Shyam were dressed by Mother Leela. Shri Shri Krishna Balaram were dressed by Mother Guru Prasad. Chota Krishna Balaram by Mother Prema Manjari. Shri Shri Gaurnitai by Mother Ashtasaki, Chota Gaurnitai by Mother Ekadashi Vrata, and the Gurus and Lord Nrsingadev by Krishna Kripamoy.
It's all here. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava
Jaya Gopidana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopidana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jasodanandana Brajadanaranjana Jasodanandana Brajadanaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jasodanandana Brajadanaranjana Jasodanandana Brajadanaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Radha Madhava Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Radha Madhava Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Prabhupada
Gaura Premanande. Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakachaja Stotra Satta Sri Samad, His Divine Grace Charabai Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya's Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Samaveta Bhaktivrinda ki Harinama Sankirtan ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Tiny Tiger Pimanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurinmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahim Darati Swaparantikam Nama Om Vishnu Paraya Krishna Prishaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschacha Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mukam karoti vachanam pangum langayate girim yat kripat maham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam yat kripat maham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. By Krishna's mercy, I'm getting opportunity to again visit here at New Ramanariti, one of our very important communities, of course. And I wasn't actually planning to be here, but Krishna has so many plans and arranges, of course, all things. I'm very happy to get an opportunity, although it's a short visit. Ramanariti, our community here in Alachua, probably one of the largest communities that we have within our ISKCON society. And as we all know, Srila Prabhupada many years back, and it's there in his books and conversations, and largely this is the theme I would like to present or develop a little bit this morning. As was mentioned a little earlier, we have in India an actual ministry, probably one of the few ministries. I only know another ministry that is in Europe that is specifically geared or directed towards what we call Varnashram development. What many of our devotees, I think everyone's aware, of course, that 2016 is going to be a very important year for all of us, for all of ISKCON, being the golden jubilee of the incorporation of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And it will be a grand event for which our leaders within the society are preparing in different ways. What we may not understand is that actually this Golden Jubilee period actually begins next year. 2015 marks actually Srila Prabhupada's arrival in America. Here we are in America, and Srila Prabhupada chose America to begin his Krishna consciousness movement. And therefore, for the next 12 years, actually beginning in January, we have the opportunity, a very unique opportunity, rare opportunity to commemorate. So our ministry in India, which is known as IDVM, or ISKCON Daiva Varnashram Ministry for India, is planning a series of events and programs which will especially focus, of course, on the particular aspect of Varnashram development. This morning I want to mention a few things of what is happening not only in India but in a few other countries as well in connection with Varnashram development. I know that for many people, Varnashram is like maybe somewhat in the background, or maybe a little bit controversial topic even to discuss. Many things actually in relation to Varnashram. We feel in our ministry, naturally, because we're a ministry that has that name, that it's very important to talk about it, and there's a real need not only to talk about it, but actually to act on it and see how it can actually become a reality. So part of the presentation this morning also will be a short video. It's all set up. I hope we're dealing with technology, and technology doesn't always cooperate or come out the way we expect. In any event, there's an 8-minute video, to put a little bit, normally we don't present videos during Bhagavatam class, I know, but there's always exceptions. This video is kind of special because a few days back, means on the 31st of October, so less than a month ago, it was Gopastami. Isn't it a very special festival? And both in Mayapur and Vrindavan, we had a special ceremony. I mean, already there was a ceremony because it was Gopastami. We chose that day to launch our logo, which I'll show you a little bit later. Our ministry, I guess maybe about 3 months, we had a couple of devotees, a couple of artists, work out a logo that kind of summarizes or presents the main theme of what we as a ministry and what we feel is what Srila Prabhupada really wanted to present and have us understand, actually, as members of ISKCON, that this particular aspect of our movement is something that all of us, not only people who are happening to live on, I'm just coming from what we would call or refer to as Boma Chintamani Dham, just like there's Boma Vrindavan, the Vrindavan that is in the material world. So there's a Boma Chintamani Dham here in North America, which is Adikarta. You all know Adikarta, Prabhu's place in Kentucky. I was just there before coming here. And so Srila Prabhupada actually spoke about, our Shastras also speak about creating Vrindavan, right? Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan, Bhagavata Sravana, Mathuravasa. Mathuravasa. Residing in Mathura, or residing in, Mathura means Mathura Vrindavan. 5 of the most potent, powerful processes out of the 64 that are listed by our acharyas, by the Goswamis of Vrindavan. These 5 are the most potent. Why are they most potent? Because they can give us Krishna Prem. very quickly. Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan, Bhagavata Sravana, Mathura Vasa Sri Murtira, Sradhaya Sevana, Sakala Sadhana Shrestha, E Pancha Anga, Krishna Prema Janamaya, E Panchar Alpo Sangha. Alpo Sangha, just with a little association with any of these 5 processes. So the realization I've been getting, all of us get a little, that's what Krishna consciousness is all about. Getting a few realizations along the way. And something that's become more clear to me is that not only did Srila Prabhupada and our previous acharyas expect or want us to develop a mentality of Mathura Bhasa, but also wanted us to physically, manifest and live in a community. Many years ago, as some of you know, although it's less known actually by a good number of devotees, Srila Prabhupada, he wrote that essay called Gita Nagari. That's why we have in America also a community, Gita Nagari. And in that essay, Srila Prabhupada actually summarizes the essence, in many ways, of what is Varnashram. You see, that we should live in communities where the whole teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, the essential teachings of the Bhagavad Gita are there. We follow, we imbibe, and we live a simple life. Very important point. That'll, of course, come out on the video as well. Vedic culture. Krishna is giving us in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam a perfect formula. Actually, Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita is full of systems, very important systems. Simple, but yet simple, because Vedic culture promotes especially simplicity. Systematic, scientific systems which are meant to be applied and followed on 2 levels. The spiritual level, bhakti, we mostly speak about bhakti, we mostly preach about bhakti, the Goswamis of Vrindavan especially, and Lord Chaitanya's teachings were bhakti movement, right? At the same time, our Shastra speaks about material systems. There's an ideal material system, and that ideal material system is referred to as Swadharma, actually. We have 2 Swadharmas. We have the spiritual Swadharma, Jiver Swaru Hoy, Krishna Nityadas, eternal servants of Krishna, and Krishna Bhakti Nitya Siddha, Sadhya Kabunoy Sravanadi Sudachati Kara Eudoy. That this bhakti, this process of bhakti, it is our natural eternal quality. At the same time, there's another level, another dimension, which is practically unknown in present-day society. Actually, in present-day modern society, whether practically all over the world, most leaders and most people are not following either of these 2 levels. They don't know about the spiritual dharma and they don't know about the material dharma. We have a unique opportunity to actually demonstrate, and that's part of what we should be doing, to live and demonstrate the spiritual Swadharma, especially, beginning with the chanting of the holy name, and the whole, so many activities of devotional life, devotional service, Sravanam, Kirtanam, up until Atma Nivedanam, and at the same time manifest not only in our mind, not only in terms of feeling, but we should also endeavor, and Srila Prabhupada actually gave instructions how we need to, what did Prabhupada say? One of the important purposes of our society is to bring a complete overhaul in society. To bring a complete overhaul in society and to revert, I'm just using Prabhupada's direct words, to revert to the traditional standard system of Varna and Asrama. Now, it's a major challenge, obviously. One of the things that most of us don't understand so much, even as devotees, is that our Vedic culture, which is based on Sanatan Dharma, the word Sanatan, we all know, we've heard it so many times, means it's eternal. Means it's not supposed to change, you know. So both the spiritual Sanatan Dharma aspect and the material Sanatan Dharma, because Varnashram is also Sanatan. The system of Varna and Ashram is an eternal system. It is the eternal system that Krishna has created for all of us in the material world. It's not that that there's a better system or that we have to find another system. Krishna has already given it, you know. So very important for all of us. And of course, I'm coming to the central theme here, and that will be connected with the video. We've heard about it. I mean, the philosophy is there in our books. We just have to read it. And there are three things. And I just want to quote one very important verse. I'm sure many of you have read it or heard it before. It's in the eighth canto of the Bhagavatam. And it begins, text number, to give the exact reference, 8th canto, chapter 24, entitled Matsya, the Lord's Fish Incarnation. You know, out of the blues, Srila Prabhupada kind of gives a purport in that chapter on this verse here, and this verse will kind of introduce this video that's coming up in a few minutes. Here's the verse. This is Shukadeva Goswami speaking. Shri Shuka Uvacha Go Vipra Surasadhunam Chandasam Apichesvaraha Raksham Itcham Stanuradhate Dharmasyarthasya Chaivahi. I'll just read the translation of the verse, maybe one or two lines of the purport, because it's a wonderful purport, very powerful purport. Here's the translation. Sri Shukadeva Goswami said, O king, speaking to Parikshit Maharaj, for the sake of protecting the cows, brahmanas, demigods, devotees, the Vedic literature, religious principles, and principles to fulfill the purpose of life, the personality of Godhead, the supreme personality of Godhead, accepts the forms of incarnations. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada makes a very wonderful, it's a short purport actually, but I won't read the whole thing. Here's what Prabhupada says. When Lord Krishna appeared, he purposefully became a cowherd boy and showed personally how to give protection to the cows and calves. From the Lord's personal activities, human society should learn how to give protection specifically to the brahmanas and the cows. Just like this verse begins, right? Go vipra sura sadhunam. It begins with go, with cows. There is a very important verse, actually, that someone sent me. What we are first of all, cows should be protected. Cows, thus protected, will in turn protect the brahmanas. Thus, when protection of cows and brahmanas is achieved, then the whole world is protected. Simple formula, simple instruction. Vedic culture begins, the pillars of dharma actually begin with protection of cows. Our very existence is directly and intimately, although in modern day society we don't see the connection, even as devotees we don't have that connection. Vedic culture is founded, is established, and in order for that culture or any culture to flourish, to be successful, that connection has to be there. We see it, of course, in Vrindavan, and we see it throughout the history, throughout the whole history, up until only maybe 200 years ago, the beginning of the Industrial Revolution in Europe. Majority of people, we read, like before the British came also in India, people were happy, satisfied, and very advanced spiritually, very advanced materially. We read how the residents of Vrindavan very opulent. So in other words, if we want to become Krishna conscious, we cannot become Krishna conscious without also being cow conscious. The cows are, and what that represents as well. Cows actually means there's an intimate connection with land. Here we are, in Ramanariti, we have so much land. we need to deepen our, I'm learning, I'm going through the learning process as well. But the more recent realizations, because we have a ministry that is focused on that, is that it's really very important for every single member of our society, even those who may be living in the cities. That understanding, that realization of how important, we need to put Mother Cow. There's a mantra. I came in contact with some time back. It's called the Surabhi mantra. Some of you may know it already. And there's a very nice bhajan, actually. The Surabhi mantra, just like the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, actually very powerful. It's in our Shastra. It is Om Sri Surabhyai Namaha. All glories to Surabhi, because Surabhi is the mother of all cows. All cows actually come from Surabhi, Mother Surabhi. And this Goshala they have on the border of Rajasthan and Gujarat. If you ever get a chance, my humble prayer and request, please go and visit that Goshala. It's the largest Goshala on the planet. That is a very historical place as well, because when Krishna went, or when he returned from the battle of Kurukshetra, I think when he went there, he left all of his cows, because traditionally when people would travel, they would travel with their cows. One would, It's like when people go to Pandharpur, in India they have like a yearly festival. I've seen it with my own eyes. They go walking on Padayatra and their cows are with them, because you can't live without cows. We live without cows, but look at the way we live. It's not the way we should live. Modern day society has learned to live without cows. But look at the results, Look at the quality of life. So Vedic culture actually helps us to understand that we cannot live without cows. And when we find ourselves living without cows, we should understand that we're in trouble, that we're not living the proper way. I was happy to hear on my way here that some Goshala program or a plan is there. Of course, you already have some cows here. But in Vedic culture, it's like cow is part of the family. Every family has not only one cow, many cows. And cows are not only for Vaishyas. Brahmanas have cows. Kshatriyas have cows. Everyone in society is dependent on cows. You cannot live without cows. You could not have installed Krishna Balaram a few years ago without cows, without product of cows. So that direct connection is there. Cows, brahmanas. Cows enable brahmanas to do their job, to do their service. Because brahmanas need ghee. They need different cow products. You can't install deities without panchagavya, the 5 ingredients, isn't it? Milk, yogurt, ghee, cow dung, cow urine. So this is actually such an important aspect, and before we, anyway, it's only 8 minutes. I'm still trying to find out if any of you have seen this video and you know who the author is. Please let me know, because video is nice. It's actually very powerful, I would say. Some of the writing is, in some sections, not all, is a little bit small, so I don't know how we're going to do here. It's going to come up on the top here in a few minutes, and it's like cows are speaking to us. This morning, I will allow, as part of the Bhagavatam class, the cows to speak to all of us. and the devotee who made it had some very nice, I would say, realizations. We as devotees, especially, Hare Krishna devotees who are meant to preach, the whole Vedic culture and the principles of Sanatana Dharma, the more we understand and appreciate how so vital and essential and important are cows and bulls. When I speak about cows, bulls are included there because bulls come from cows. So important. And all of us, even though we cannot maybe live with cows, our personal cow, still we should see. So over the next 12 years, we have a booklet actually. We came out with this logo, which is very, I would say, significant in many ways. And there's a logo booklet that comes actually with the logo. We'll be coming out with that. We just printed a few copies on Gopastami. Very, very important dimension of our life, and the basis actually of Varnashram. So, are we ready for this video? You're right there, right? Okay. I'll give you a minute or so. There's a very nice melody and bhajan that will be part of the video here. You can just kind of imbibe the message, very nice message. And then because we won't have very much time after the video, here we go. If anyone would like a copy of that video, I'll be happy to give it to you after. Lights. Most of it is quite readable. Some of it may be a little challenging. Hare Krishna. Jai Gomata ki Jai. We have a few pamphlets that I want to, actually, we don't have extra copies of that. We have some of our literatures. I'd like someone to pass this on to our Tamahar Prabhu, just to have a look at it. Just pass it in the back, it'll get to him. Tamahar Prabhu. Yeah. Just for initial look, and you can just pass it around, and I would appreciate if they can all come back here. One of our projects, we have a number of projects in India, and I'll leave a few minutes, I'll just close on this point here. Naturally, when we begin to understand the importance of cows and the land, then we begin to understand the importance of villages. Therefore, between now and 2016, our ministry in India is aiming at, we have a pamphlet, I'll pass this out as well, adopting a village. We want to adopt 50 villages. Actually, we came to know recently how the same wording is there. The government of India also have a program, Adopt a Village, because this new government in India, which has a lot of, I would say, promising features connected with a lot of things in relation to our philosophy. You know, when you have a prime minister who goes around different countries and distributes the Bhagavad Gita to the heads of state and tells people in justifying what he's doing that, well, it's only natural that I should give what India has the most of value, the most important thing, number one. And secondly, I should give what is meant to be the most meaningful message in one's life as well, you know. Without us having, it's part of Indian culture. India as a country is meant to preach Krishna consciousness, basically. Very difficult, of course. So many other things we'd like to talk about, and we have a community. I'll maybe finish on this point. You can pass it around. You can show it to Tapapanch Prabhu and just pass it around. We have a nice community in Sumatra, which is on the island west of Java, Indonesia, that was started about 15 years ago, and it's been, you know, expanding ever since, from a few brahmacharis. Now we have like 35 families. Of course, nothing like Brahmanariti here. I don't know how many families are here, approximately? Anyone count? About 400, huh? Yeah, okay. So it's really nice to, well, you're experiencing that here, when there's many devotees together. So many things actually are possible. Of course, there are, because it's Kali Yuga, not always so easy as well. Problems are there. But basically, this is an area or dimension, we could say, that is really, it's not just a question of cows, but the beginning is cows, and throughout this whole, let's say, varnashram dharma aspect of our society, which we are really truly missing, I would say. It is our misfortune that somehow, you know, we've not been able to act on very clear, simple instructions given to us so many years ago by Srila Prabhupada. Every single center and project should have a varnashram colors, for example, and so many other things in relation to that. We will be happy to the ministry that we have in India to correspond with anyone who may have some questions, and we'll take maybe a couple of questions right now. I see a hand down there, and yes, is there a mic? Mic, yeah, down there, and then we'll come on this side here. We can start that side, Prabhu. Yeah. is just coming up. Here we go.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Maharaj. That's a very nice video. What I wanted to ask you to comment on, I've been studying some of the instructions that Srila Prabhupada gave in 1976 and 77 about Varanashram. I've been reading them, and also I was there in Bhubaneswar and in Puri and at Kumbh Mela, and he was talking about these things many years ago. And he was saying that he wanted to take his society in a new direction of Varnashram, because he was disappointed. He was saying that actually we want to uplift the entire society, and he was a little disappointed that not so many people are able to stick to the Brahmin sannyasi. That standard had fallen short, but he was saying that we need to instead introduce the concept of doing whatever is our dharma for Krishna, just like in the Bhagavad Gita. Could you please comment on this aspect, because I feel it's terribly important. Many people don't understand it at all, and I certainly am one.
Okay, my understanding is that actually it is true. Srila Prabhupada spoke about now we are about to enter a new phase, of our activities, of our preaching. I've always understood that it doesn't mean that we, have been failures or that we abandoned what we have done so far. And it took me, my God, at least 25 years of my Krishna consciousness. I'm celebrating my 40th this year, like many devotees, being connected with ISKCON. But it took me many years to actually discover something that many of our devotees have not yet discovered. I'll share it with you. And that has to do with directly, and the references are there actually in the folio, but they're like hidden. There's many hidden things in the folio. That's one of them. It's hidden in two places. I'll tell you where it is also. One of them is in that essay, Gita Nagari, and the other one is in a letter, 1949. I'm explaining this briefly because this is directly connected with the question you're asking. Srila Prabhupada, and I'm using, Srila Prabhupada's direct words. He spoke or envisioned ISKCON society developing on 4 levels or in 4 phases. He called it movements, 4 movements. We have a whole video on that actually. And the first movement, Srila Prabhupada, just follow this. It's very important actually. To me, it was like a revelation. The first movement that Prabhupada spoke about, and this is really also intimately connected with what Gandhi spoke about as well, because as we know in his early life, Srila Prabhupada was a follower of Gandhi. First movement, Prabhupada coined as Sankirtan movement. In this context, meaning the holy name, beginning with the holy name, and extended to books. The holy name in books. That's how Lord Chaitanya started his Sankirtan movement, by taking, after spending 1 year in the house of, Srivas Thakur, he took the holy name out in the streets of Navadvip, isn't it? And then what did he do shortly after that? He sent the Goswamis to Vrindavan to write books. These are, Brihat Mardanga, an extension of the holy name. So this is the first phase that Prabhupada speaks about. This is directly Prabhupada's words, Sankirtan movement. Second movement Prabhupada spoke about, which we can easily understand is an extension of that as well, is deity worship movement, establishing temples. That's what our Goswamis in Vrindavan did, isn't it? Establishing temples, installing deities. And just keep in mind, what happened in India is exactly what happened also in the West. Prabhupada came and he went to Thompson Square Park and took out, clapped his hands and chanted Hare Krishna. And then books started to come, etc., like that. Then temples, New York, San Francisco, Montreal, Boston, etc. So first phase, Sankirtan movement. Second phase, deity worship movement. Third phase, Prabhupada coined it as spiritual initiation movement. Prabhupada's very words, spiritual initiation movement has to do with connecting people with Krishna's family through initiation. That's, Vedic process. You take Diksha. So that means in our ISKCON society right now, congregational development, developing congregation, different kinds of congregation, youth preaching, college preaching, Namhata preaching, Bhaktivriksha preaching, scientific preaching, it's all different kinds of congregations. That's number 3. Number 4, you won't guess. Maybe I'll ask you. Maybe somebody can guess, although we shouldn't speculate. Well, what did Prabhupada refer to as the fourth movement? He didn't use the word varnashram also. Huh? No. Anyone? I don't think you'll guess it. He called it classless society movement. Wow. Only Prabhupada could call it the classless society movement and in the same breath say that it is divided into 4 varnas and 4 ashrams. You have to be on the transcendental platform to do that. Srila Prabhupada's take on this was that it's a classless society. Means in the higher level, we are all the same. We're all servants of Krishna. We're all devotees, aspiring devotees of Krishna. But we voluntarily, as like in a drama, accept temporarily means in this lifetime, some particular role within varnas and ashramas. But it's like in a stage, like in a drama, Prabhupada explains also. When we begin to see it that way, well, classless society makes a lot of sense, and it is varnashram. So what has happened during Prabhupada's time, and even up to now, is that mostly in all of our temples around the world, we have focused on the first 3, and kind of like totally forgotten about the 4th one, And we don't really understand, I would say, some of the very basic principles and concepts. But until we do that, we remain like very, and I would say that's one of our main shortcomings, we remain too ecclesiastic as a movement. We remain too like churchy, We need to become a society. Majority of our devotees are not brahmanas. Majority of Prabhupada, you're right actually, Prabhupada had great expectations. As a matter of fact, many times he mentioned, I'm establishing this society to create brahmanas. And rightfully so, because we need brahmanas. But initially Prabhupada was thinking that, I'll only create brahmanas, but then even those brahmanas that he was creating could not maintain as brahmanas, or could not maintain, as you pointed out as well. So the idea is that Prabhupada then started to speak about, we need to also train other members of society, and we need, if we want to really preach and reach out to the whole world, then we have to introduce varnashram. And many devotees actually, even as late as 76 or 77, if you read carefully the discussions that Prabhupada has with some of his senior most disciples, had a hard time getting that. Anyway, that's a whole big topic, but maybe, I don't know if that helps a little bit. The question on this side, somebody has to take it's already there, you have the mic? Okay, mic here it's coming, yes sir. There, the bearer of the,
Maharaj, the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi,
yes,
there is pictures about him being a sadhu in the Himalayas.
He was what?
Sadhu, living a sadhu life.
Yeah, previously.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
And please, if it's correct, please let me know. What I'm hearing is that when he was a Chief Minister of Gujarat,
yes,
he had met Radhanath Maharaj had a discussion with him, and he had told that Narendra Modi said that when if he's become the Prime Minister,
right,
he will stop the cow killings in India.
yes.
Is that correct?
What I heard is the following: when he was when the campaign was going on before the elections, one devotee, actually I was visiting, I forget, somewhere in India, he heard one of the speeches, and at one point, what you say is true, that actually in the state, of all the states of India, Gujarat, where Narendra Modi was the chief minister, it was only in that state that actually they were successful. He was successful in closing down all the slaughterhouses. So they had complete ban on killing of cows, and also he was controlling, let's say, gambling and a few things like, I think, liquor. This devotee mentioned that he heard that Narendra Modi had mentioned, if I become Prime Minister of India, what I have been able to accomplish in the state of Gujarat, I will introduce all over India. And we can see, I was mentioning how, when he went to Japan, he presented the Emperor of Japan, okay, not with Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, but he presented it with the Bhagavad Gita. And he commented that actually, I do this, I've been doing this all along. And whenever I meet prominent people, I give them this most important book. As I mentioned a little earlier, it's the most important treasure of India, and the most important thing, most important knowledge one actually should cultivate in one's life. So I would say that it is very promising in that my observation, because I spent many years in India, it's the first time, I believe, since independence that we have a prime minister who is so closely connected actually with the Vedic culture, and many of our devotees have very close relationship with many, and eventually, Prabhupada spoke about us endeavoring, right here in America, Srila Prabhupada, some of the older devotees will remember, had sanctioned and allowed at one time, the In God We Trust party. Prabhupada mentioned in various lectures, you become the president. It means, that's an important dimension and phase that eventually will and should take place. Whoever has a hand up, maybe the mic.
So, is that they already passed a law in Maharashtra, as I understand?
When he was chief minister, that's already in place right now.
No, but at present, I understand that last month or 2 months ago, they passed a law in Maharashtra for this cow protection.
Possibly. Well, there's a standing, India within the constitution actually does not allow, but people in different ways have been kind of like taking advantage of loopholes, I guess, different loopholes. But Narendra Modi was successful. It's the first time I'm hearing, I'm not aware that they have done this in Maharashtra. If they can, passing laws is one thing. Maintaining or implementing, rather, is what Narendra Modi was able to do actually in Gujarat, yeah. And I, anyways, don't want to tell so many things, but I would say that, politics, one has to go about doing things in a planned way. So, he's been in his position as prime minister just like a few months, right? We have to give the person some time. So I would say that he's going to do things in a very strategic way, and our devotees have very good relationship with many of the different ministers that are there. It's the first time in history, like many of the ministers, when they swore in office, they actually they swore in Sanskrit language. Many things like this to highlight how our culture here. Someone else had a yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. It's a very important topic, but I'm thinking that wherever Vedic culture is dominant and prominent, Vedic culture is prominent,
yes,
dominant, then those are the best places
to live,
to introduce Varnashram gradually. And
yes,
then we can implement it in the West and so forth. Because
yes,
it's very foreign to the, to these communities. But so when that becomes successful,
Yes.
then it becomes very appealing to.
Yes, that was part of Srila Prabhupada's strategy, that first we do it, we show by example, isn't it? We create such communities. That's why it's so important. But we've not really been able to do that, and therefore it's really important that we have a few examples. Then that will begin to convince our own devotees, because many devotees our own devotees are not convinced. So before we convince non-devotees, we have to start with our own devotees. So yeah, very important. We have, and that was Prabhupada's plan, that we have some examples, some models that will demonstrate how it's happening. And we have a few, and there will be different varieties. I mean, there will be different models, I would say, like this. Yes.
Maharaj, thank you for coming to Alachua.
Hare Krishna.
In 1979, you were my model. I just wanted to appreciate. Maybe it's not a big deal for many, but for me, it was such a dedicated example you have displayed, where I was working with you in Navhatta beginning. The Javataka Maharaj had an idea about Bhakti Bhiksha, all these big thousands and thousands, but this Bhakti Raghav Maharaj, as a brahmachari that time, was the actually pioneer who trained Gauranga Prem Maharaj and others. So I'll never forget those. Even though in the train, Maharaj, they used to pull Sika, your Sika also, but you are laughing. And I did not like it. As a Bengali, I didn't like it.
Yes.
They pulled my Sika, but you kept on going. And we walking for miles, we ride bicycle, and you train those villagers how to do Tulsi Puja. I'll never forget those beginning in 79, how you well trained.
Hare Krishna.
I appreciate your dedication to Prabhupada.
Hare Bol. Nice to see.
I have a one question.
Yes.
Actually, two. One question was that Srimad Bhakti Charu Maharaj told me one time that in the last days of Prabhupada, he expressed very sad, morose. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Bhakti Charu Maharaj was there, so he told me personally that Prabhupada said 50% of his work is not done.
Yes, yes.
So when they stressed it, then Prabhupada said it was Varnashram Dharma.
Yes.
But Tamahar Prabhu was very nicely actually illuminated my sadness in a sense this time when he came back. He says, some discussion, I'm not sure, but he's here, he probably can say, that actually Prabhupada said Varnashram Dharma is for the accommodating the whole society of the world.
Yes.
But for devotee who already dedicated, accepted Guru and serving, it is not really for them as important, because they are already serving under Guru's guidance.
I don't accept this view.
Maybe I could be wrong. So he's here, maybe he can correct me.
I don't accept this view. Prabhupada in discussions very clearly indicated that Varnashrama Dharma is not only for non-devotees, it is also for devotees. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also supports the same thing, that even we're pure devotees, we should live within the system of Varnashram. If somebody, Prabhupada did say that if somebody is like Haridas Thakur, then he's totally, he's Haridas Thakur, right? Well, I mean, we know. I mean, I accept the fact that bhakti, pure bhakti, is above, and the goal is not varnashram. The goal is pure devotional service and going back to Goloka, Vrindavan, etc. But while we are here in the material world, even a majority of our devotees are not immediately pure devotees. Have you noticed? It takes a while, to come to the Paramahamsa stage. And therefore, we're dealing with the modes. As long as one is dealing with the modes, you got to be within Varnashram. And it's like, I'll just close on this statement, which maybe might turn, spin the head of a few devotees, but this is something that Prabhupada also, this really brings the point home in terms of what our Vedic culture is about. We're racing towards more and more urbanization. As a matter of fact, 175 countries around the world signed documents about 15 years back promoting more and more urbanization. This is adharma. When we begin to understand what Vedic culture is all about and what dharma is all about, see, majority of people and majority of our devotees as well are living in the cities. Our cities are primarily meant actually to be preaching places. We should be in the cities for preaching. Our preaching basis should be the cities. Our living basis should be the country. You take that with you. Think about it a little bit. I don't mind, and if anyone has to go, please feel free.
I'd like to kind of, since I was quoted, I'd like to clarify that.
No, please.
I was actually, as I remember, I was just repeating what Bhakti True Swami had said to me, that in the very, very last week of Srila Prabhupada's life, Srila Prabhupada had said to Bhakti True Maharaj, he said that Varnashram is for the outsiders. Varnashram is for the others, not for the devotees. Now, I don't think that's inconsistent with anything that you're talking about as far as the need to establish Varnashram for the organization of society. But still, it seems as though Prabhupada did make that distinction between, Sanatana Dharma and our eternal position as devotees and the material organization of Varnashram.
Our ISKCON society, and because you're a GBC member, needs to have, similar to what we came out with, a foundational document. We have our foundational document on Srila Prabhupada as a founder Acharya. We need, very urgently, and of course you can't just do that, overnight. We need, as quickly as possible, a foundational document, paper, book, on Varnashram. And we should have that, and if you can just pass that on to other God brothers and God sisters on the GBC, we should have that before we make major decisions that are related to Varnashram. Yes?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, you were mentioning so much wonderful pastime of the cows, but I wonder, like devotees who cannot have the facility to have cows.
Yes.
How should they worship?
They should make friends with those who have cows.
Or worship the cows at the temple?
There are many ways that you're asking how to become involved or connected with cows?
Yes, Maharaj. Like a lot of devotees doesn't have the facility to have like an acre of land.
You're holding the mic, you should speak in it.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't have the facility to have cows to worship.
Actually, everyone has the affinity to have cows. I should mention. It's just like everyone has the affinity to love Krishna. Yes or no? Facility. Okay. Well, yeah, not everyone has a facility to keep cows. That's true. But everyone is meant to actually develop some connection with cows. So even if we don't have the ability or facility to have physically a cow with us, then we somehow should make that connection, either by reading about cows, or we keep photos on the altar, or we do a puja every day to a cow. There's many, many ways. Or we visit a Goshala, we support. Huh? So many things actually. Or you adopt a cow. We have this program, Adopt a Village, for example. Many, many ways. If you run out of ideas, we'll give you some. Yes. Oh, sorry. Mike is there. Go ahead.
Sometimes we hear the term about Daivi Varnashram.
Daivi, yeah.
Yeah, I have some idea that there's some kind of distinction between just mundane Varnashram and Daivi Varnashram.
Of course, yes.
Just like Srila Prabhupada said that one who's cleaning the temple and one who's dressing the deity, they're on the same level.
Yes.
But in one sense, someone who is engaged in cleaning or maybe like taking care of the vehicles or something, in one sense you could say that by his work he's like a Shudra, you could say.
Yeah.
But actually, just like Dronacharya, he was teaching martial arts. He was actually he was actually a Brahmin, no?
Yeah.
But he was teaching, and so similarly, the devotees that are teaching by their example how to serve Krishna in different capacities, they're actually above Brahman. But there's
Yes.
I mean, this is theoretically like that, of course.
Yeah.
You know
So internally we are above varnashram as devotees, but we voluntarily accept because we have to live within society. So I don't think it's contradictory as such. And the word Shudra, of course, is a very controversial word, but we should understand Shudra as servant. And in our philosophy, that's perfect, because we're all meant to be servants. And the most important servant, Prabhupada speaks about Krishna as being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then Prabhupada explains that the Guru is meant to be the Supreme Personality Servitor of Godhead. Isn't it? So we're meant to be servants in all levels, correct? Yes.
May I expand on?
Please extend, or expand,
point,
but not too.
The point that you were making about how devotees who are not directly connected with cows, obviously don't have land or don't have facility to have cows, how they can be. And I think there's a kind of a stereotyped idea that having a connection to cows means, as I just said, owning one or giving a donation for cows, or just appreciating cows, which is, of course, true. But there's another feature to that.
Yes.
And that is that the greater society around us that we're hoping to reach out to are basically junk food addicted, junk food malnourished, and meat eaters. So the one way that cows can be supported is to embrace the idea that the only thing offered to the deity, especially in a place like here where you have lots of land, lots of opportunity to grow things, that the farming itself, the production of foodstuffs, is driven by the desire to only offer the deities things that are from our own hands, which, of course, Prabhupada said was 100 times better.
Yes.
And the second thing is that in our own personal diets, that we are not imitating or addicted to the kind of foodstuffs that have absolutely nothing to do with, I should say, have everything to do with violence to Bhumi Dev.
Yes.
The way that all these foods are produced is committing violence to Bhumi.
Yes.
Which is directly connected to cow protection.
Yes.
Because the amount of land, in fact, there's a documentary recently released called Cowspiracy. Are you familiar with this?
Yep.
Cowspiracy.
Cowspiracy.
And it's put out by two vegan people.
Yes.
And they basically expose the fact that all these organizations that are the cutting edge, or in the most prominently known environmentally active groups like Greenpeace, World Watch, Sierra Club, although they're doing a lot of good work, the one topic that they will not discuss is cow slaughter. They won't touch it because it is the number one reason for environmental degradation. The amount of land that's used and all these issues that are connected environmentally.
Yes.
The only person on that documentary who was honest about it was a well-known author, Michael Pollan. And when they asked him, why is it that none of these groups will talk about cows? He said, well, because that's simple to understand. We're membership driven. In other words, the members of those organizations, by and large, are not vegetarians. They eat cows. So being connected to supporting the cows doesn't just mean owning one and petting one and liking one and adopting one. That's also important. But it means all the ancillary activities that promote local foods, only offering the deities what comes from our own hands, and those kind of activities.
Yeah. Well, a few years ago, just to conclude on this point, somebody can take the mic. our GBCs actually passed a resolution, right, to the effect, encouraging actually our city temples to purchase and get food that is produced by our devotees. Of course, that's not happening on a very large scale, but at least the intent or the intention was there. So yes, we are neglecting our mother cow. Bhumi is another mother as well, as you pointed out as well. There are many ways, practical ways. Definitely that should be a goal down the line, that we offer and also consume as devotees food that is grown by our devotees, that is offered with love and devotion, that is pure food, pure milk, ahimsa milk from protected cows. Many of our devotees don't really understand even about ahimsa milk and its importance, for example. There are many other things. I don't want to hold up anyone. And before you all walk out, I'll just bring this to a close here. Thank you all very much. And, well, yeah, we have some books here. If anyone is interested, devotees can have a look at that later on.
Just an announcement that someone lost their keys. So if anybody finds an extra set of keys, turn them into Keshava.
Okay.
There was a set of keys on the Vyasa-san before Maharaj sat on the corner.
I didn't take it. I did see the keys, however. And what was the last thing? Yeah, I would like those pamphlets that went around to kind of come back. Thank you very much. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. Hey, here are the keys, by the way. They're still here. Yeah. You're right and I'm right.